Okay, first installment of Casala Baseball Academy hitting lessons. So it might be a little bit of rough, might be a little rough the first time through, but you know what? It's about the content, not necessarily the presentation skills. First thing in hitting that we find out that a lot of the players have issues with, and unfortunately, if you don't get the first part right, how are you going to do the second, third, fourth, and fifth part right? And that is the grip of the baseball bat. As you can see, most of the players will hold the bat, deep into the palm of their hand, where you can see it here. What that does is that causes the player to be long and slow to the baseball, i.e., get in your stance, deep, deep, okay? When you go to swing, slow motion, you can see how he has to drop the barrel back and go long to the ball. Instead, what we want to do is we want the bat to be in the fingertips. If you lay the bat forward and then hold it in your fingertips, you will see that the bat is actually held in the fingertips, not in the palm. What is good about that is that will allow for a loose grip. Loose grip is able to get to the baseball faster. Loose is better than firm and hard. All right. So by doing so, he is able to get the barrel to the ball, straight to the baseball, instead of long and underneath. Okay. All right. So when you are working on your grip, I always tell the players that they should hold it in their fingertips, and they could actually leave the palm open as the pitcher's on the mound. And I always tell them that in doing so, if you were to write something to the pitcher, he could actually see it. For example, right here, he could actually see what's written, and then as he goes to swing, he'll be able to get right to the ball. Okay? So that's the first step of hitting. Now we're going to talk about the stance. All different types of stances. The main issue that most players have when they hit is their head. They have a bad habit of taking their head when they swing away from the plate. The main reason for that is an overstride, show an overstride towards the pitcher. The head is in the middle of the body, meaning back away from the plate. When he goes to stride, they land on their heel, which causes the head to even go further away. And in doing so, the bat comes through, it's in the strike zone, it's heading in the strike zone, off balance, out of the strike zone. That causes a lot of balls to slice the other way and not be hit very hard. Or a lot of ground balls to the pull side that have big bounces to them, choppers. And that's because they're good as they fall back. Bat comes through the strike zone. As they're falling back out of balance, the bat rolls on them. They roll over it, causing the bouncing balls. All right, so what we want to do is go ahead and get in your stance, is we want the chin forward to the plate, so that when you actually have your hitter, if you take a line from their chin straight down, it should be in front of their toes. That's where they want to be. In doing so, when they stride, they need to stride, and keep the chin right there, rather than coming back away. All right? I mentioned stride. Don't really like to use that term. We like to call it light. And what we want to do is, John, show him. John has a slight open stance. And what we have him do is we just have him take his front toe and close up his stance by coming in 3 to 4 inches and staying on the inside of his front leg. And in doing that, he's able to stay on the ball of his front foot. Chin stays forward, Hands stay back. Weight is on the back side. As he starts to swing, his heel will go down and his back knee will come through to his front knee, and his hands will go to the ball, and his bat will stay in the strike zone long, and as long as he's tilted in towards the plate, his head's not moved, he can extend longer through the zone, staying on top of the baseball and hitting a strong line drive. Next thing, a lot of the players they see on TV, they like to finish high, which if you think about it, unless you're going to hit the baseball out of the ballpark, why would you want to drive the ball into the air where outfielders can run and go catch it, i.e. no bad hops and fly balls? So what we like to do is finish level. Take your stance. Light, hands back, go to the ball, drive through the ball, through, finish level, and finish at shoulder height. We don't want to get through the baseball and do everything right, and as we get right to the baseball, making solid contact, lift it into the air for what's going to be a 250-foot fly ball once players get to the big field. Okay? All right. So, one thing about staying back that most players don't understand, and they have to get the feel for it, is they have to get the weight onto the backside. A lot of players think they're on the backside, but they have no idea. One simple way to do that is by using and moving a player's head. Get a square stance with your body in the middle of your body. Okay? Right now, he's probably evenly distributed weight, 50-50. What we want to do is eventually get to 70 or 80-20, okay? One way to do that is take the player's head and just move it back. Now what'll happen with most men is they'll think more is better, and they'll really move back and they'll start leaning into the catcher, or they'll get over the back, the knee will get to over the back of the foot. That's too much. So too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing. Okay? So we'll just get John to move his head back. Now the weight's there. Light, stride, light. Head stays towards the plate as we hit. What I like to call staying in the game. Bats through the zone, stays in the zone, drives through, longer, exaggeration, then comes around as we make solid contact, hitting line drives. Okay? So that's the first part of our hitting video. I'd like to thank my model, John, my son,